Hello everyone, it's Andrew from Gem TCG here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how selling trading cards online is more of a service-based business rather than a product business, and also how to focus on that side of things and change your perspective on it so that way you can become a better seller, get better feedback, and get more sales. And I thought about this the other day and I was like, as a trading card seller, we don't own the product really. We have the physical copies in our inventory, but we are not the makers of these cards. We don't produce them or design them or anything like that. We are simply distributing it. We are finding a buyer for our inventory, and then we also buy collections from other collectors or sellers. So we are just the almost like the middlemen of that. And that's not a bad thing or anything, but it's just as a reseller, we are almost like buying in wholesale from a collector or other reseller, and then we sell it to other collectors and buyers in smaller quantities. And we aren't the creators of these cards, so what people are depending on from us is the service we are providing, because they could buy a base set Pikachu from anyone. They could buy it from me, from the hundreds or thousands of other stores selling that card, and at the end of the day, they're getting the same exact product. Obviously, sometimes there's different centering and different conditions, but they are getting the overall same card. But what differentiates us is the service we are providing, which is how is it being shipped? How are we communicating with the buyers? How fast are we shipping these items? How high quality are our listings? And all these things play into the experience that the buyer is getting in a way. And it's the same way if you're looking for someone to do a service for your home or your car or whatever. You're not paying them for the product they're using or they're giving you. They're paying them for the service they are providing. And obviously, it's not a one-to-one correlation, but it's pretty similar. And I think this is very important to understand, because if you can focus on these things and improve them, you will just become a better seller overall and get more sales. And it's something like, there's this one clip I saw of Jeff Bezos saying what the buyer cares about, or consumer or whatever you want to call it, what they care about does not change much. They want faster shipping. They want better prices, better quality, all that stuff. So focus on those things and then find ways to improve those specific things that they are looking for, because those things don't change. The only thing that would change is how you do it. And it's not like someone's going to be like, oh, I want slower shipping, or I want worse packaging, or more expensive prices. They don't want that. So they want fast shipping, better shipping, and good prices. So that's what you have to provide. And ultimately, finding the best way to do that is going to help you grow the most and give you the best results. So one of the biggest changes I made was offering free shipping and then also doing 1-day handling. And I know not everyone has the time to do 1-day handling, which, to be honest, I can't comprehend how that's the case, because right now with my full schedule, I'm still managing 40 orders a day. And they're obviously not just single card orders, they're pretty big orders. So if I can do it, then you should be able to do it, is kind of my mindset on that. And obviously there are exceptions, but overall it should be doable. And if you need help, or if it's taking you a really long time, you could also join the Patreon if you need help on that, or you could just watch my videos on how to set up your inventory and do your shipping in a way that makes it much faster. And changing the shipping handling to 1 business day and then doing free shipping. Now, why did that help? Because I am doing a faster shipping service and then also a better cost, because they're not paying for shipping. And even if it's still overall, if I were to do $6 with free shipping or $5 with $1 shipping, technically it's the same cost, but to the buyer, $6 with free shipping is less. I want to say there's less friction on that purchase, because in their mind, they're seeing that they're paying only for the item. They're not paying for a service or something else on top of it, which is why I'm not a big fan of charging for shipping, because as the buyer, when you see $5 for the item and then $5 for shipping, or however much people typically charge, they think that they are throwing away that $5 because of the shipping. And in their mind, it should be free. So it looks like an extra cost to them. And so shipping was one of the biggest things I changed to improve my service or the service experience. Another big one was communication, which I think it's very hard to communicate properly and then also ignore the time wasters, because like this weekend I was busy doing a bunch of stuff, so I wasn't able to check my messages for, I think, from Friday night to Sunday night. And in those 2 days I received, I believe it was 45 messages. And I'd like to say that probably 90% of them were just people asking, can you do a better price on this? Can you send more pictures of this card? Can you send a video of this card? I simply don't have the time to respond to all those messages, and nor do I want to. I'm not going to go out of my way to send a picture to someone when there's already pictures of the card. They just want extra, and they want to be, in my opinion, just be difficult. And I understand not everyone, a lot of people buy cards that they want to grade and all that, but I am not in the business of selling to those people, so I'm not going to feed into that, if that makes sense. And you don't have to also, if you're watching this, you don't have to do everything that the buyer asks you or the potential buyer asks you. But what you do have to do, which is what I do to maintain a good communication with buyers on eBay, is if they actually purchase something, or if it's a valid question that's not going to take a lot of time, answer it within a day, or at least I would say within a day you should be answering questions, and you shouldn't really let them linger on for longer than that. And I know I sound like a hypocrite. I just said I went 2 days without responding, but sometimes there's going to be days where you cannot do all the messages and stuff like every single day. Typically on the weekends is when that happens for me, but try to respond to messages within the day. And the way I do it is in the morning, I'll read all my messages and then respond to the ones that need to be responded to. And at night, before I start doing my orders, I will respond to messages too. So that way you're not checking messages all throughout the day, because that would be far too complicated, or not complicated, but just time consuming and waste a lot of time. So set a schedule and a time slot where you do this, so that way every day you stick to that schedule. And this way, if someone messages you overnight, you'll respond to it in the morning. Or if they message you during the day, you respond to it at night. And this will help because sometimes people ask questions regarding tracking, and you need to respond to those quickly, because people get nervous when they buy something and then the tracking doesn't update in a few days or a week, which is very understandable, obviously, but you need to alleviate that concern and get rid of it as soon as possible. Because if they get scared and then you don't respond to them for 2 to 3 days, then they think they got scammed. And then even if they receive the card, they're going to have a negative experience with you as a seller. So try to respond to messages quickly. And then this part is up to you, but I ignore all the messages that are just asking for more pictures or asking for a different price, because truthfully, if you let the card be listed long enough, it's going to sell with or without extra pictures or without lowering the price. So I'm not going to advocate for chasing sales. And then the third thing that I will talk about in this video is returns. And I know a lot of people don't like returns or don't like allowing returns because they think everyone's out to get them and the buyer's just going to return a fake card, or they're not even going to return the actual card. And this is kind of an extreme thing, and I don't understand why people are so scared about that, because I've had returns on my store ever since I've been top rated, because you need to offer free returns. And I even do it up to 60 days. I don't mind allowing returns. And I've never had an issue where someone scammed me out of a return, or they returned like a fake card. And with my sales volume, over the last 2 to 3 years since I've had free returns available, this has never happened to me. So it most likely will not happen to you. Because if I've had to deal with, I don't even know how many returns, but definitely like dozens, I would say, over the last 2 years, and I've never been scammed, the chances of it happening to you are extremely low. So I wouldn't really be concerned about that. And yes, it sucks if you sell a card and then you have to pay a return shipping, which is like $4 or so, and then that cuts into your profit. But the indirect, or I guess unmeasurable benefit of that is that when you're offering free shipping, people are more comfortable buying from you, or free returns, people are more comfortable buying from you, which means you'll get more sales. And then in the long run, that every so often return shipping label that you'll have to buy is far outweighed by the more sales you will get. So definitely offer free return shipping. Give it up to 60 days. If you want, you could do 30 days too, but I think after 30 days, no one's really going to be returning a card, I don't think. So I think it's very safe to just allow free returns, and just that's it, honestly. I don't know. But those are the big three things to improve your selling service, to become a better service provider as a seller. And if you can incorporate these and change your mindset to think like that, I think you will become a much better seller, and then obviously have much better results. So thank you all for watching this video. Some quick updates. We are close to 1 million cards listed to eBay from TCG Automate, which is awesome. I'm like, because the other day it was like a week ago, and now it's at almost 1 million. So I'm gonna have a full video coming soon on like new features that have been added and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that, and hope you guys all have a great day.